me down here in the corner. I have a different kind of video for you today. I'm going to share some information about my success, or maybe you think lack of success, with purchasing 100 pounds of men's mixed clothing from ThredUp in one of their rescue boxes. Two big rescue boxes, actually. So I'm going to start with some just little bits of data about what I bought and what I did with it. And then we'll go on and I'll show you what's sold so far. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. I really enjoy having you here, and I thank you for tuning in. So I purchased 100 pounds of men's clothing from ThredUp, and it cost $400 plus sales tax, but I had free shipping. And I think anybody who spends that much on ThredUp gets free shipping. There are different levels depending on how much you spend in a year, but I think $400 puts you over the top. It came in two 50-pound boxes from Georgia, if that matters to you. I have seen ThredUp mystery box, rescue boxes from all of three of the different warehouses, and you can get good and bad from any of them, so I don't really think it matters, but some people are curious. I received them on February 18th. They took about a week to arrive. FedEx teased me for several days that they were arriving, and then they finally did. It took me about 3 weeks to list everything. I didn't list everything I received, but you'll see that in a moment. But I was really pushing myself to not let this create a giant two 50-pound box death piles in my house. So I really pushed myself. I did prioritize some things, the highest value, couple of high value pieces that I wanted to list right away. And then I also prioritized what I thought were winter items, because it was already the middle of February and I wanted to sell them now if I could before the season ended. And then toward the end, I was listing button front shirts and khaki pants, which are everyone's least favorite men's items. But I pushed myself and I did get it all done in 3 weeks. I received 103 total items. So that cost of goods comes out to $3.88 each. I told you that I didn't list everything, but how I account for the cost of those items might differ from the way you do. You might then just calculate your cost on only the things you listed, but I accounted for them in my business books, slightly different depending on what happened to them. So 6 of the items were flawed and they were of no use to anyone. I might have donated a couple of them, but a couple of them actually went in the trash. 6 items went to family members, my husband, my grandsons, my son-in-law, both of them, and a friend of the family each got a nice piece that they thought was great. And typically my husband gets the cream of the crop from my men's stuff. 20 items are going to go to Plato's Closet. I haven't taken them there yet, but they're brands that Plato's will probably take, or styles that Plato's would like. They're usually always looking for guys' clothes, but they're things that the value to me was not high enough to trouble listing them. So I chose to send 20 items are in my Plato's pile. I want to get a few more things pulled from old stock and take with it, so we'll see what happens there. So I was left with 71 items that I listed on eBay, and about 40 of those I listed on Poshmark. I don't have a strictly accurate accounting of how many items I cross-posted to Poshmark, but because of things that have already sold on eBay, I have no way of knowing if they were listed on Poshmark because they get deleted. But I'm estimating about 40. So the first box contained 17 of the items in the first box were new with tags. So each box had about 50-ish items. 100 pounds, 103 items. Some items weighed next to nothing, a t-shirt, and some items were heavier. But the first box had 17 new with tags items. I really thought, wow, this is crazy. There were 10 new with tag items in the second box. That's still really good. 4 of that total items were actually women's clothing, or boots in one case. A pair of boots and 3 tops were women's clothing. To me, they were obviously women's, but the boots did say women's inside the tongue, but I can see if you're sorting quickly, you might decide that they weren't. The first item to sell from the whole lot was the pair of women's Timberland boots. The highest price item to sell, and I don't believe there's anything I have listed that's higher that will beat it, was a women's shirt, which you will see in a few moments. So as of April 18th, which is just a few days ago from when I'm recording this, that was 2 months from the receipt of the boxes. I have sold 38 items. 11 of those 38 were new with tags. 10 of those 38 were sold on Poshmark, the other 28 on eBay. So 38 sold out of 71 listed. That's a 53% sell-through rate in just 60 days. I'm very pleased with that. By comparison, prior to this big acquisition, I would sell about 10 to 15% of my store every month. And since then, I've been selling about 15 to 20% of my store each month. But I have ramped up. This helped me ramp up, and then I just sort of kept up the pace. I was listing more when I got this big pile of stuff, and I was able to keep thrifting regularly. And so I've kind of been keeping up that pace of listing at least 5 items a day, 5 or 6 days a week. So that has helped my sales quite a bit. And again, it's mostly due to the large increase in frequency and volume of listings, not necessarily this specific product. If I had listed 71 items from anywhere, in addition to what I normally list, I think it would have helped me. So, what is the quality of the items that are left? Well, that remains to be seen. Did I sell just the cream of the crop and the rest of it is not as good? We will find that out. So, what did sell? That is what I'm going to go over with you next. Move on to the what sold portion of this video. And these are roughly in the order that they sold. I may have one or two out of order because finding 38 things and pulling them up was almost more than my brain could handle. So these Timberland boots are actually women's. I was able to find that out by looking inside the label, the product information inside. They sold in 6 days for $40. So they were the first thing to sell, but not what sold the fastest. That was these Reebok sneakers, the men's classic leather legacy in a 10.5. They sold for $39.95. On eBay, all of my items are plus shipping. My shipping policies, I don't lose money. I either charge exactly what I have to pay to the buyer, or I make a 50 cents or so. So these Reebok classic leather legacy shoes sold for $40 in one day. So that was fun. I have zero experience selling men's shoes, athletic shoes, sneakers. Men's sneakers are probably my largest area of ignorance. Oh, there's something to be proud of. But I got, that's one thing that's fun about this men's box is learning brands and categories of things that I don't normally sell. I've been selling men's clothes for a long time, but I've always avoided shoes and athletic clothes and sportswear, sports teams, etc. So I've learned a lot. The next item to sell was this pair of Nike slides for $19.87. They're the Victory One. It actually sold these slides before. My grandson gave me a pair to sell. So that was quick and easy. Those sold in 6 days. Here's my first Poshmark sale. I sold a Patagonia Isthmus 3-in-1 jacket. I was very excited when I pulled this out of the box because it felt super thick and bulky. It's a fleece inside, a fleece jacket inside a water repellent nylon jacket, and of course you can wear them bundled together. And that's the 3-in-1 jacket. I sold it for $80 in 6 days. I got a bunch of offers like the first day for 40 or 50 or 60, and I think I listed it around 100 and accepted an $80 offer. As my friends on Clubhouse say, don't be a greedy bee. So that was fun. This Vineyard Vines Nordic Bird's Eye button-through sweater. We'll talk about my stock photo problem in a minute. This sold in 5 days on Poshmark for $33. I rarely use stock photos, and I have mixed emotions about it. I never use them on eBay, and unless it's a new in box item or new with tags item, then eBay's not so picky about it. but sometimes, and I mean, look at that photo compared to this photo. Which one would you rather buy? Sometimes a product just doesn't look good without a stock photo. So I have mixed emotions about it because I know I don't own those photos. I don't have permission to use them. But this sweater sold for $33 in 5 days, and I did use a stock photo. Okay, the next sale, was a pair of new with tags. Burn is the brand, Berne. They were insulated bib overalls. I took an offer. I listed them for $49. I took an offer of $40, and those sold in 7 days. So that was fun. These are heavy duty workwear bib overalls, but $40 was a wonderful price for them because they're under 100 new. So Burn is not. It's not like Carhartt or anything. It's not that expensive. Okay, here's the item that sold for the most money. It sold on Poshmark. I used a stock photo again. It's a Citizens of Humanity. It's called the Brinkley Oxford shirt. And I knew that because it was new with tags, and the tags told me exactly what it was. Brinkley Oxford shirt. The retail on that was $228, and it was sold at Ever Eve. So I got so many offers early on. Oops, sorry about that. I got offers of 35, 40, 45, and I thought, boy, I think I can get more than $30 or $40 for it. And then, so when I received a $100 offer, I was very happy. That's again sold in 11 days, and that was my highest ticket item in the box. And again, it was a woman's item, not a men's. The next sale was a pair of Levi's 505 straight. They sold for $35. They were new with tags, and they sold in 3 days. So I struggle with Levi's. I know that there are certain number series that sell great in modern Levi's, and others that take forever, some that get $15 and some that get $40. I tend to do best if I just stick to vintage Levi's. I love finding orange tab, which I do, I won't say often, but maybe once a month. And now that the 90s baggy stuff is coming back, I even sold a bunch of reissued baggy Levi's silver tabs that were modern, probably came out about 8 years ago. So these new with tag Levi's, I mean, anybody can sell new with tag Levi's for $35, but they sold in 3 days, so that was a good sale. Okay, the next was a zip-up hoodie sweatshirt for the Los Angeles Angels. The label on it was Fanatics and Major League Baseball licensed, of course. That sold for $30, and it sold in 2 days. So I think I had another item that sold quickly, so I might pay more attention to stuff in the thrift store that has, this was new though. I think that helps a lot. But sports branded items, I think I might dabble in a little bit more. This was a surprise for me. I sell Under Armour out of thrift boxes, but I hardly ever pick it up at the thrift store because you can sell it, but most of the stuff goes for $10, $15, $20. But this was fun. This was a pair of men's Under Armour pants called the Match Play. They're golf pants, of course. And I sold them for $30 in 8 days. So that was terrific. I had to do a little searching, I think. Did it tell me what they were called? Oh, I think I was able to use the numbers on this tag here to figure out what they were called. So, I don't know. Has anybody ever found Under Armour that isn't sweatpants or shorts or performance tops? These golf pants, that was a great find. Oh, yeah, they were new. That's how I knew exactly what they were called, because there was a tag on them. Duh. I'd never heard of this brand before. Daniele Blasi, a sweater made in Italy. It sold in 6 days for $19.99, and it was new with tags. I thought I would sit on that forever because there's not a lot of those sold. The sell-through rate is not great, but when it's new, you can sell things for $20 pretty easily. Here's another pair of Levi's. They were men's cargo pants in a dark gray color. Those sold for $25.99 in, looks like it was about 4 weeks. And cargo pants on Levi's is one area where I will look them up. Not denim. I think I actually sell more Levi's that's not denim, if it isn't vintage. This is an Izod. This was a pleasant surprise. I never pick up Izod in the thrift store unless it's vintage. The old stuff, very vintage, back when it was part of Lacoste. But Izod, it used to be a really good brand, competitive with Lacoste. Sold this new with tag shirt for $17.99, and that sold in 4 days. I was surprised at the price. I thought that would either sit forever or I would have to sell it for $8. So this was the big surprise for me. This sold the same day. It is a hockey jersey, like not a fan jersey, but an actual hockey jersey for the player to wear for the Edina Hornets in Minnesota. Edina is a suburb of Minneapolis, and I'm familiar with that because I grew up maybe an hour from the Twin Cities, but in Wisconsin. But there was one or two from this school that had been sold, but not for like sometime in the past couple of years. I just thought, I have no idea what it's worth. It's in beautiful condition. I'll just slap it up for $40 and see what happens. And it sold the same day for $39.99. So even high school stuff will sell. I don't really know why this sold, but I was shocked at the price. So just goes to say, be daring. You never know what you might get. The next item to sell was a Calvin Klein new with tags men's dress shirt. It sold for $40, and that took 32 days. I have two other Calvin Klein men's dress shirts. Very similar, same fit, on no iron, but they're used and they're still for sale. So new with tags stuff obviously is a lot easier to sell. But that sold in just over a month, 32 days. Next item to sell was this Columbia 4X long sleeve shirt. It has UPF 50 protection, and it was a size 4X. Let's see that actually sold on an offer for $15, and it sold in 5 days. That was I let it go for 15 because Columbia, that's really what it was worth. I put it at 22, knowing that I would have to take offers on it. So just a Columbia long sleeve t-shirt. This is a marine layer hoodie, sold for $20 on Poshmark. And that is, it took about a month. It had a really cute graphic on the back with a setting sun and some seagulls. Marine layer, I think, used to get more, or maybe a performance piece would get more, but just a lightweight cotton hoodie, $20 seemed a fair price. My husband spent some time on sailboat in the summertime, and these are the kinds of shirts he likes to wear because he can protect the back of his neck by flipping up the hood. It's got long sleeves, but it's really lightweight, so you don't get hot when you're out on the boat. Speaking of boats, these are shoes my husband would never wear, but a pair of Sperry topsiders sold in about 17 days, and I was surprised they sold on Poshmark, but they were a size 9, which is not very big for a guy, but the Sahara is just a classic Sperry, and they sold pretty quickly. I thought they would sit forever. Okay, the next item I let go for cheap. Weatherproof is not a brand I would ever pick up. It was new with tags. It was a cute Henley style. I think I took an offer for this on eBay of, where is that? I didn't write it down. Probably $12 or something like that. But it sold in 12 days, and I just let it go because that's a brand that Even new tags. It's not something I think people look for. Here's a pair of dress pants, the Brooks Brothers Madison 100% wool trousers. They had a slight flaw. I guess they were tagged with a 32-inch inseam, but hemmed to 29. So I listed them as how they measured at a 29, and those sold in 3 days for $24.99. Brooks Brothers, I'm much happier to sell than Joseph A. Bank. I sell Joseph Bank if it comes. Sorry, I've got to get something to drink. I'll sell Joseph Bank in these ThredUp boxes, but I don't pick it up at the thrift store. Even cashmere and merino wool just doesn't get that high of a price. Brooks Brothers, however, especially the stuff that you can figure out what the name of it is, does a little better. And there is Brooks Brothers that is black fleece and golden fleece that you can, if you can identify it as one of those lines, you can even get a better price than that. But dress trousers are not a favorite category of mine to sell. Here's a Vineyard Vines men's Edgartown hoodie, sold for $18.50 in 45 days. I pick up Vineyard Vines if it is really obviously Vineyard Viney looking. This has the little whale logo on it, but otherwise it's just a gray hoodie. Vineyard Vines needs to me to get the best price and sell better, needs to look very preppy, very East Coast, very New England, all of those things. The plaids with the pink and green and blue pastels, or like that very preppy sweater we saw earlier. This is, it's a nice piece. Again, it's something my husband would wear sailing, and it's a size small. So $18.50 was a pretty good sale in 45 days. Gordon Rush. Now, the model inside told me that these were the Manning Tuxedo Oxford shoes, which to me is kind of hilarious because these are not Oxford shoes, they're derby shoes. You see how the vamp, the flaps that come up over the inseam, it's two separate pieces, one from each side. There's no seam across here. These are derby style dress shoes. And Oxford would have a seam all the way across the instep. I'm pointing with my cursor. I don't know if you can see that, or you're even watching. You're probably just listening to me while you vacuum, and then you can't even hear it. What a great way to go. Anyway, Oxford and derby shoes, look up the difference sometime. Men who are serious about their shoes care about that difference, but these sold for $35 on Poshmark in 21 days. I got a lot of $10 and $12 offers on these, and I just, every time I got a new offer, I would check the comps again, and I would be like, no, I'm sorry. Sometimes I'll take any reasonable, I don't know what that is, even up to 30% off offer, because I just want to sell things. But these sold in 3 weeks for the price I was asking. So I tend to wait a little longer before I start considering those much lower offers. And these were just in beautiful condition. I have found in ThredUp the shoes I get from ThredUp, men's shoes that I get from ThredUp are really in great condition, almost never worn looking. And I'm not sure why that is, but maybe they toss the ones that are not fabulous. The next sale was this Wrangler shirt. It's a pearl snap, has got the Western style yoke with the points on it and Western style pockets that are shaped, and it had black pearl snaps. Again, still not worth much. Sold in 15 days for $15. When I list something for $16.99 and someone offers $15, that's what I call a very reasonable offer. Okay, the next sale was a pair of Zara shorts. They were a linen blend, flat front, sold for $19.88 in 16 days. They were new with tags, but the comps just didn't support any more than $20. That kind of surprised me, but shorts are shorts, so how much you gonna get? The next thing to sell was on Poshmark, a pair of Madewell slim jeans. They were 32 by 31. You can see here how I call out what they actually are, how they measure. And it's tricky with denim because most people go to the store, they try on jeans, they buy them a little long so that when they shrink, they still look nice. So they might say, okay, I always get a 32 by 32. And after 2 months, if they measured their jeans, they wouldn't be 32s anymore. So it's tricky because people will shop for used jeans, buy their inseam that they normally buy in the store, and they probably will work just fine. But I always like to make sure they know that they will not measure to the original inseam. So these sold on Poshmark for $28. And my note does not, oh, they took 24 days. I thought that was a fair price. Okay, this is one of the women's items. It's a sun protection shirt. It's from Coolie Bar is the brand. I was not familiar with it, but there it is. Excellent sun protection, it says. And right in the label there, it told me it was the Devi Fitness t-shirt. So that's sold for $22.99. Where's the Coolie Bar? Took 36 days. And that's sold on eBay. Have you ever heard of Coolie Bar? I think that if I'd seen this in the thrift store, particularly with the sun protection, that I would have looked it up. But I'd never seen it before. So that was a fun new brand to learn about, and it was women's. Here is a button-down shirt from Kirkland, that's Costco, right? And it was new with tags, still wrapped up in the package. It sold for, in 13 days, I took an offer of $13. And again, the comps did not support any more than my listing price here. I was surprised. I guess somebody bought some shirts at Costco and really liked them and went looking for them on eBay. The next item to sell was another sports type item. Kansas City Chiefs Nike dry fit on-field shorts. These were new with tags, and they sold for $38 in 36 days. It's funny, I'd never got any offers. It looks like I had 6 likers on this. I never had any offers. I don't know why I said that they were $3,999. I usually put 0 there because I don't bother go looking up what things originally cost. That's an amazing discount. No wonder they snapped those up from me. Oh, good Lord. I hate it when I do what sold videos and then I find typos and all kinds of errors. But there you go. There's a strategy that works for you. 1,000% discount. The next item to sell was back on eBay from H&M, LOGG, the land of graded goods, I think that stands for. It was a utility jacket. I also called it a shacket. It had, or a chore coat. I just wanted to hit all the things. It had a small spot on the back. I say see photo. I'll show you the spot right there. Pretty tiny. And a utility jacket can tolerate having spots on it, right? It's supposed to look like you did some work in it. It sold for $29.99 and it took 14 days. The next item to sell, I almost didn't list this, Sonoma. It's a no brand at all, but it was Hawaiian. And I thought, maybe I'll get something for it. And it turns out I did. I got a $7 offer after a month, and I said, you betcha, take it away. It's a cute print, and it's a men's small. I probably should not have listed it, but even after fees, I think what did I put? Did I calculate my profit on that one? Yeah, my net after fees and cost of goods was $2.25. My time is probably worth a little more than that, but maybe not. Here is a Prada dress shirt. I actually got 2 Prada dress shirts. The other one is still for sale. It's kind of a homely gray and maroon stripe. But this is a beautiful navy blue. I got wonderful feedback on it. It sold for $35. I took an offer after 34 days. And so I had listed it at $50. The comps were all over the place. Some people had put them at auction and ended up selling them for $10. But it still had its collar stays, and the neckline was in beautiful condition. The cuffs are in great condition. If you're looking, yeah, I very rarely buy dress shirts in the thrift store. I probably would have picked this up being Prada. So I was pleased with that sale, and I still have one more. This is not something I would get in the thrift store, but I listed it because were Traveler's Collection, um, flat front cotton pants. They're, just basic chinos in navy blue. I think my net profit on this was $3.35. Yeah, I took an offer of $12. So I wouldn't have picked those up, but they were in my box, so I sold them. Next item to sell was these sneakers. This is a pretty inexpensive Nike sneaker. It's called the Flex Experience, and it was a size 8. So it could have been, sold to a woman for a size 10, and those sold for $25 on Poshmark. How long did that take? 54 days. Yeah. They're just an inexpensive lightweight sneaker, but they sold. The next item to sell was Orvis, which is an outdoor brand. This is not something from Orvis. I might get things that were related to fishing or hunting, but not just an ordinary sweater. It did have faux leather patches on the shoulders and the elbows, and it sold for $19 offer in 14 days. It was a 2XL. And again, we were reaching the end of winter, and I did not want to hold this stuff all through the summer. Here's a Champion hoodie. Very careful I don't pick up much Champion at the thrift store anymore. But this was interesting because the Champion logo on the front was actually a gray and black camouflage Champion. So that sold for $19, and it took 49 days. That was on Poshmark. Okay, here's a story of hold out for your best price. Don't let things go. I do both. I let things go and say, yeah, that's fine, take it. Other times I'm like, no, I know this is worth more. So these were the Adidas Ultra Boost Prime Blue sneakers. The color was called What the Core Black. And I did a lot of research because, again, I know nothing about men's sneakers. And of the Ultra Boost sneakers, there were several different colorways. And this one seemed the least common of all the ones for sale and what's sold. There were none for sale in this size, which is 9. And I looked on, StockX. I looked on all these different sneaker websites. And some people were, very daring and trying to get over $100 for these. But I listed them for $75, and I got so many low offers on both Poshmark and eBay. And they finally sold, where? After 60 days for $69. That was an offer that I accepted. So, yeah, that helped pay for my box for sure. But every time I got one of those low offers, I would check the comps again and think, did I make a mistake? And finally somebody did buy them, and I got good feedback, so the buyer was happy. Here's another one of the cheap things, Volcom men's chino shorts with a 10-inch inseam. They were faded on the back. You can see around the pockets. And this is not something I would have picked up. I probably should have donated, but Volcom hybrid shorts, actually, you can get a little bit more money for. I will explain. A hybrid short is styled like a men's Bermuda short, but it's made of fabrics like swim trunks. You see what I mean? So you could get them wet. I wouldn't swim in them per se, but they're called hybrid because they are a cross between a board short and a Bermuda short. And guys really like them. They look sharp for travel. If you go to the beach, you can go wading and hang out, play with your kids, and they'll dry quickly. And then you could walk up and go to the restaurant on the pier and look like you had decent shorts on. So Volcom hybrid shorts, I do pick up in the thrift store. But these cotton chinos, I sold for $7, and it still took over a month, 33 days, even at that bargain price. So Volcom, you have to be very careful about what you're picking up. And last item, sold most recently, Brooks Brothers Regent Oxford cloth shirt. It sold for $32.99. Beautiful condition. This is the black fleece logo. See, it's a sheep on a scale. That's called black fleece. But the Regent would be a shirt that someone would be looking for. 100% cotton, and just a beautiful shirt. Oxford cloth is that slightly more coarse cotton weave. A dress shirt would be very smooth, and Oxford cloth is slightly more coarse. And they're typically button-down shirts, and they're usually white, blue, or pink. So I think every guy should have a couple of Oxford cloth shirts in his wardrobe. They look great. Worn open, you can wear them with a casual tie and a sport coat. They're just a really great all-round shirt that goes from tailored to casual. And I was very happy with $32.99. And even though it took 52 days, somebody got it and loved it. So that's what sold the 38 items out of my box. I would love to hear your comments, what you think, what surprised you, what you would have done differently. And even if you enjoy men's clothing, please leave me a comment with your thoughts on this video. I will follow up with, as soon as I'm able, with just a quick recap of what's left. I might just roll that into another video. But that's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.